Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Franco here, and I'm back with another Clash of Clans video today. And today, I actually am going to make a different video. I wanted to rank every hero equipment that is in the game, so I'm going to switch over my tabs right now, take a good look at what it looks like in the game on this hero equipment screen, and we are going to go to the tier list creator here, which I have actually never made a tier list in my life. But the whole purpose of this is to hopefully try to inform new players on what is actually the best hero equipment, because I have my brother ask me. He's a new Town Hall 12, and he's like, I don't want to waste my ores, so he's just saving up all his ores, and he's always like, what's the best hero equipment by far that, like, if I upgrade it, it'll be viable through every Town Hall level. So that's what I'm here to do today. I'm going to show you what some of the S tier, meaning the best hero equipment, and D tier, meaning the worst hero equipment. And then it'll be in order based off of which one's better within that tier. So let's just get started with this. And the first hero equipment thing is, I guess we'll start with the Barbarian King here. So the first equipment is the Giant Gauntlet here. And the Giant Gauntlet, if you don't know, was a an equipment that you had to buy for 1,500 gems or through one of the events. And it is one of the best hero equipments in the game. It does splash damage, which is so good for the king, because that's the king's weakness. And it's so much better than the default barbarian puppet or whatever. He takes less damage incoming, and it's an epic equipment. So honestly, this might be the best hero equipment in the game. If there's anything that you want to upgrade and you're not sure, upgrade this. But it oh, we don't have the spiky ball on this one, because this might not be the most updated tier list, because I'm not sure when this was created, but I'll still rank where I would put the spiky ball at the end of the video. Hopefully I don't forget. And then the next one we have is the vamp stash here. So I never really used the vamp stash, and one of the only strategies you have with this one is, I'm not really sure where to put it yet. I'm just gonna chuck it down in D tier for the time, or I'll put it right back there. The only strategy that you really have with it is, I think you unlock it early game, so it might be something you mess around with till you get the Giant Gauntlet. But once you get the Giant Gauntlet, from then on, you want to rock Giant Gauntlet Rage Vial all day. That's it. That's all I have to say about the King. But with the new addition of the Spiky Ball, a lot of the times you can just treat the king like the Archer Queen, where you pop the giant arrow and the healer puppet right away, and then just let her chill, and she has no active ability. And you can do that with the Giant Gauntlet. I mean, with the Vamp Stash and the Spiky Ball. So you just drop the king, launch the Spiky Ball, knocks out a bunch of defenses or whatever buildings, and then he has the Vamp Stash for the rest of the time. If you get this thing up to max, it actually can recover a lot of the king's health. So I would have put this honestly at D tier. I thought it was so bad, and there was really not much of a use, because passive ability wasn't great. But now with the addition of the spiky ball, I almost do want to put this at B tier. It is not that great, but it has its use cases. And next is the Earthquake Boots. And just to put some perspective, I'm a Clash of Clans YouTuber. I have hundreds of videos of Clash of Clans, and I played this game for so long, and I watched tons of Clash of Clans esports. I love to just watch what the pros use, pro strategies at the highest level, and also I have tons of experience with my own account and running a clan. So I know basically what the top players do, what my clan does, which is like mid-level, and even what the low people do, because I have a feeder clan and I see what some of what they do, and some of it's pretty whack. But with that out of the way, Earthquake Boots, I honestly think, are one of the worst equipment in the game. It has very little use cases, and it's kind of just a waste of your ores. It breaks a bunch of walls at level 1, so there's really not much point in upgrading it beyond level 1, other than for the king boosts. But if you really have a place where you want to use them to break open some walls, like, you can just chuck it on and never really even upgrade it. And it still does its own thing, which is kind of good. But it's just a bad hero equipment. And next is the Rage Vial. And like I said, this is perfect to pair with the Giant Gauntlet. And this is the OG King ability. And I don't think it is S tier. It's not that great. It's just great because you can pair it with the Giant Gauntlet. That pair itself is S tier, but the Rage Vial itself I don't think is really the best in the game. And then the Barbarian Puppet, I'm not even sure. Let's take a quick trip over the game here, because I'm not really sure what stats it gives to the king, because the barbarians themselves die right away. It was just notorious back in the day that when you launch the ability, all that happens is the king just finds a giant bomb and all the barbarians die. So it gives you some health recovery, hit point increase, and the active it gives some rage. For the barbarians and some of the barbarians, but then comparing it to even the earthquake boots, I guess it does give more increase in earthquake boots that have damage percent decrease. I think it's slightly worse. I think it could be the worst hero equipment in the game. But now I can always arrange this at the end, and we can also view what the community ranks all these. I accidentally took a quick peek, and I saw like one or two things, but then I closed it out, and we'll view how my opinions are different compared to the community rankings, which I think might not be right because I saw invisibility vial in S tier. Spoiler alert. And this giant arrow is the next epic equipment, which was unlocked for the Archer Queen. I'm not putting it in C tier. Sorry, I just dragged it around. And it was so hyped up when it dropped, but it doesn't give that great a boost. It's just a slightly better Archer Puppet, which was kind of ass, the Archer Puppet. And I think you got to just give it an A tier, and I almost think it's worse than the Rage Vial. I don't know. I'm just kind of biased against it. It's good to have a passive ability because you can pair it with other great queen abilities. But besides that, let's get on to the invisibility vial. So this is another one of the default queen equipments, and I think it wasn't that great. Like it's good for queen charges for when you're not paying attention to your queen and you're like doing some other stuff and then she dies and she has an extra life. But the extra life when you pair it with the frozen arrow, which is what everybody was thinking, is just not that great. She can die through ability sometimes, and it does do a lot of damage, and it is such an OG equipment. So I don't know if it's better or worse than the frozen arrow. I almost want to give it worse than the frozen arrow. Personally, I never even used the frozen arrow. Mine's so low level because I just think the other queen equipments are just so good, and I will die on that hill. And then we have the Archer Puppet. And Archer Puppet, I do want to give like honestly, now it's kind of C tier. And my reasoning is the frozen arrow exists, and you get the same queen boosts from the frozen arrow. I think you might get like a couple different, like maybe not HP or something, or you don't get HP regain with the Archer Puppet. But ultimately, the Archer Puppet actually causes your queen to die. It actually, like, before the frozen arrow came out, I used to think, like, it actually hinders your queen because what happens is you use the ability and the invisibility with the Archer Puppet is the most common usage. And then the queen's invisible but summons archers, and then a scatter shot throws through and kills the archers and then damages the queen or the ricochet cannon or the mortar, whatever, and it actually causes your queen to die sometimes. So those archers actually hurt your queen. Like, it actually hurts the queen. I'll put it in C tier just because of the stat boost. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, heroes have active abilities and passive abilities, and every single one, like the Rage Vial, makes the king active and he does his rage, but it also gives boosts onto like his health, his damage the whole time in battle. So the Archer Puppet does give pretty good boosts. Other than that, kind of sucks. Next, I think is one of the best equipment in the game, and I do have to put this in S tier, the Healer Puppet. If you're not using the Healer Puppet on your queen, you're making a mistake. This is used in almost every single attack strategy, and if you're not, the only one I can really think of is a queen charge, but if you're not using it in a queen charge, just use the Healer Puppet and the Frozen Arrow, and pop the ability right away, and save 3 army space worth of healers if you want, which could work, or just use the 3 healers as the queen charge itself. And there's a couple different ways people use it. One is use it with a queen charge with the invisibility vial, and you have the queen walk in. Then when you use the invisibility, you get extra healing in the core, which works. Or use what I said and pop the ability early and use the frozen arrow. Or my strategy, which is the next equipment, is the giant arrow. And you just drop the queen, fire the giant arrow across the base, knock out the air sweepers. I think it's really good for air attack strategies. And then you have a mini queen walk in every single attack, which I think is kind of nasty. So I definitely recommend it. It is so versatile for literally every single strategy you can benefit from the Healer Puppet. Next is the giant arrow, and I don't really know where to put this. This is one of the main things I use. I think it has a lot of strength in air attacks, like I said, but I actually think it's better than the invisibility vial. I don't know if it's better than the giant arrow, the frozen arrow, just because the frozen arrow is an epic equipment and can get leveled up very high. But that's it for the Archer Queen equipments. Next we have the Warden, and the Fireball is one of the next epic equipments, and this is such a hit or miss equipment because it only is really good when you have it maxed level. So I think I'm gonna put it at around The highest A tier, and this doesn't mean that I recommend you upgrade this equipment. I think it means that I recommend that it is, well, not that you upgrade it, but that it is super powerful if you are creative and you're at one of the top levels in the game. If you use invisibilities to make all the other defenses invisible, and then it shoots all the way across the base into the core, you can do some insane damage, but it does have to be super high level to be basically effective. So it is high cost and high reward, but it is very situational based off bases. But those bases where it can be used, it hits hard, and it is one of the best equipment in the game for that reason. And it also is one of the worst equipment in the game for bases that it doesn't work on. Next is the Eternal Tome, and I think this just has to be an S tier, above the Healer Puppet, because this is used literally on every single army, no joke, that uses the Warden. The only one that it doesn't use it on is when you use the Fireball. So these, you either want to pick one or the other to use. And this is the OG Warden ability, and giving invincibility is just so overpowered. I thought when the Healing Tome came out that the Healing Tome would overpower the Eternal Tome, because just healing over 22 seconds is way better than invincibility over 9 seconds. But invincibility is just so huge. That time frame of 9 seconds, one, troops are taking no damage. Two, they're taking out the defenses that do the majority of the damage. If you can pop this in the core of the base when your troops are under heavy firepower and it takes out that heavy firepower, it's just so overpowered. Enough said. Everybody knows how that works. Next is a Healing Tome, and this is used in a lot of strategies. And I do kind of want to place this pretty high because I think it is the second best Warden equipment. Kind of. Spoiler, all the Warden equipment are kind of good, and they're kind of good to upgrade. I would recommend, if you don't really know what to upgrade, honestly upgrade all the Warden equipment. I'm not really going to talk about all these, like they're all kind of similar, like the Rage Vials using a lot of attacks, the Life Gems using a lot of attacks, and all these are like very solid. Actually, Life Gem might be a little bit lower. It's really only used in like Lava Loon attacks. I might actually give this to B tier, honestly, just because the Rage Vial is so good. It's just a better version of it, and the Healing Tome can kind of just like outmatch what the Life Gem's for. But the Life Gem is very good at those lower Town Hall levels, and I definitely recommend, like I was saying, the Warden is just good. He's not a hero that dishes out a lot of damage. He's literally just good because of his of his abilities. And if you're not sure what to upgrade, I recommend just upgrading the Warden abilities. They're all very solid, and you really can't go wrong, other than maybe the Life Gem. Next is the Royal Champion, and we have the default Seeking Shield. And this, you don't have much of an option. You got to use it at Town Hall 13, but it is kind of ass. It's not really even worth upgrading, but you're gonna have to upgrade it because it's all you got for a little while. But the Hog Puppet Haste Vial is the best strategy no matter what. Not even if you're going for time. The Haste Vial just works better. Seeking Shield only hits 4 targets. Next, we have the Life Gem, which is, like I said, paired with the Seeking Shield, and it does recover like full HP of the Royal Champion. But again, like, I don't think it's really that great. It's not really worth sinking your resources into unless you have nothing else to sink them into. Might be weird seeing the Vamp stash above that, but with the Spiky Ball, what can I say? It's kind of a good strategy. Next is a Hog Puppet and Haste Vial, and this might be very weird to see, but these are both common equipments, and both are very good. And I'm actually going to put both of these in S tier because they are both worth upgrading 100%. And you might disagree with my opinions here or whatever, but they're just the best 2 Royal Champion equipments, and I put them in S tier because really there's no other combination that is even close, because all the other one, this is just a better version of all the other equipments. And realistically, if you're Town Hall 16 and you have the ability to unlock these, or Town Hall 15, you should just sink your resource into them until, well, the drawback is the Royal Champion doesn't have an epic equipment, and that is coming out soon. So this video might not age well depending on what the epic equipment is, because it might phase out one of these and might drop them down to D tier or C tier. But that is the end of my tier list. I think it gets a little fuzzy around that A tier with the Fireball and the Warden equipment and all that stuff. But all the things in the A tier are pretty solid, and I think generally like where the equipment are in the tiers is pretty agreeable. And let's actually view the community rank. So let's remember what I put on mine, and then the community rank actually has, yeah, the invisibility vial very high, which I don't think has aged well at all. And it has the healer puppet in B tier. That is actually such a joke. It has a rage vial pretty high in A tier, healing tome in A tier. Why it has the Seeking Shield above the Haste Vial and Hog Puppet is beyond me, honestly, and it has the Life Gem above those two. Yeah, this must have not been done very recently. Um, is there any? Yeah, this can't be updated because there's no way some of these are. And it puts the Fireball in D tier. Clearly, this is just when the Fireball came out, and nobody really knew how to use it. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this different type of video. And if you want me to make more different types of videos or something, or more tier lists in the game, let me know in the comments, and I can get that done. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.